Hey folks, how are we all doing? Today I'm bringing you how to get better at guitar part 3, fuck scale shapes. And the reason why this is inspired, this is really impromptu and it really got me thinking. This wasn't a planned video, but I found this under my bed. It's from years ago, Total Guitar Ultimate Scale Book. I'm going through it. I've been learning a ton of new scale shapes, found some really cool ones, but there's a problem. You can learn loads of new scale shapes. Absolutely no problem at all. But I think one thing you're going to find is if you're, because I've been sat here probably about an hour with this, and I was starting to get trapped. And I'll show you what I'm saying. Right, I found this shape. I think it's wherever it was in the book. It's called the harmonic minor scale. Eventually, if you just learn that scale, it's just a tiny little scale. And what I thought was the more you learn the scale shape, it's all you start to learn how to play, if you know what I'm saying. So here's what I think you should do. If you come across a new funky scale shape, or anything that's quite spicy and appealing to you, what I recommend you do is learn the shape, but instead of learning the shape itself, is learn the notes that are within that shape. So instead of thinking about, oh, I've got to be playing within this scale shape to conform to this scale, or to this chord or whatever, instead think about it like this. If you can transfer, or transpose I should say, whatever you want to call it, the notes that you've learned within the scale shape to any string, you've then got freedom to move around and do whatever you want and sound more musical with it, so it doesn't sound like a scale as such. I've had a bunch of questions about how I improvise, and how when I improvise it doesn't sound like a scale. The thing is, I barely know any scale shapes, hence why I was so happy I found this. And the thing is I've learnt to adapt my playing to suit certain octaves, little niches. Of course I do know some scale shapes, don't get me wrong, and I do like to dip in and out of them. Of course there's this one that we all know, and a few others, but literally the important thing, so coming back to this one, so what I took from that's a, I remember this scale, it's from Difficult to Cure, by the way, by Rainbow. You should go and check it out if you haven't. Anyway, but it's basically open E, open 1-4, open A, 2-3, same again, D string, then 1-2. That kind of thing. It's really cool. Excuse me, if you learn all of these scale shapes, fine, great, you've got something that's added to your vocabulary, but you can lose sight of what they can mean to your playing, if you know what I mean. This is just a little mini sort of spout on here, it's just my opinion, it doesn't really matter. But so then there's another one. What I did there was I merged the two together, And what you can do is you can start to sound a lot more musical just by dipping out and don't get into the box, if you know what I mean. A lot of people say, how do you break out of scale boxes? Don't get in the box in the first place. Going on there. My bad. The point is, the more you don't think about what you're playing as a scale, the more free you are to move around. And also another funny thing as well, there are some of these scales in here, some of these scale shapes. Like there's one that I pointed out, it's on, I think it's in the Mixolydian section. Here, as you know it's not, hello. There's one in here somewhere, it's like a major pentatonic-y kind of shape. And it's just so irrational and not logical. It's just a ball ache for your fingers. It's awful. There's one. It's like a something like this. It's a really awkward shape, and I left it after 5 minutes. But I could play virtually the same thing on different strings. So I think it might have been a variation of a Lydian shape. Now it's coming back to me a little bit. So take something like this. Right, what I played there was a scale shape, but in a really screwed up order, so it didn't sound like a scale, and I do that so much. And that's before we get into little expressive things like bending. Also, if you cock up, if you sound okay with it, just roll with it, you know, don't worry too much. So that's just a quick thing here. Try not to learn as many scale shapes as you like, but it's not about how fast you can play them, it's not about how many you know, it's knowing how to utilize notes and knowing what they are. So take my advice in saying, learn a scale shape like that really cool harmonic minor one we just did, and instead learn the notes within the scale and apply them everywhere, and you can have some serious fun with it. And of course that's how I've learned really cool little Steve Vai ideas and other little manners of improvising. I've taken licks, turned them into my own, and then combined them with my own little flair. So like, how many guitarists do you think you'll be able to hear in here? Right, I'll try and throw in like a little cocktail of Satchel, Steve Vai and Gus G, okay? Like, take little motifs like this, I'll stick in the key of E, so right, we'll take some Steve Vai stuff to begin with. That kind of thing. Then we throw in a bit of Satchel in there. That kind of thing. And then maybe a bit of Gus G for flow. And then you can just mix them around, and it doesn't even sound like a scale. I promise you, it really doesn't. I'm rabbiting now. Take my advice, don't jump in the scale box in the first place if you want to, or if you're worried about breaking out of it and playing around. Just don't get in the box in the first place. Fine, learn it and understand what it is, but just take the notes, apply them to something new and different, and sometimes don't let the scale rule you. That's the way I say it. Don't let the scale play you, and just let it feel like you're part of the guitar, if you know what I'm saying. You command the guitar and the notes that you play. You're not a slave to any scale at all. So you can take obviously the pentatonic thing. Let's just stay in A for now because it's a bit more familiar for you guys. So I had little embellishments in there like the B and the F. Maybe the odd blues note in there. And the thing to do is don't let the scale command you, and don't be a slave to bends like this. Just to get by. I know I do it all the time, but I like to try to throw in some really cool ones, like maybe, I don't know, a fourth bend in there or something. I think that's what it's called anyway. Anyway, that's how I like to approach things. Screw scale shapes, learn them, yes, of course, they're brilliant, but don't be a slave to them. That's all I'm saying. Screw scale shapes. What can I say? But do learn them. Anyway, this has been Cam. Please like and subscribe if you've enjoyed this video. Don't hate me too much, I'm just putting across my opinion. Not that it really matters. But anyway, see you guys later. Have fun. Bye-bye. Love you.